Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here for your WWE Fastlane 2018 review and results. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking everything having to do with the Smackdown Live exclusive pay-per-view, the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania, WWE Fastlane 2018. It went down here tonight, and I mean, compared to what we've been getting on Smackdown Live, this pay-per-view wasn't too bad. It wasn't a bad night at all. Of course, there were some illogical things. There were some dud matches that absolutely nobody cared about. But as far as a night of wrestling goes, with the caliber of talent that you have on SmackDown Live, this show did not disappoint. Saw some good matches here tonight. This show outlined what we're going to see going into WrestleMania, and I feel because of that, because we are going into WrestleMania, and with this show finally being out of the way, the hinges are going to be unleashed, the ropes are going to be untied, and we're going to start seeing a more exciting SmackDown Live, at least I hope, for the next 4 weeks, because SmackDown Live in its current state, we discussed it on the preview and predictions, is an absolute nightmare. It is, and there's no getting around that. So hopefully the quality of this show, the tides do start to change, because it's miserable. It is miserable. And this show, a lot of the matches suffered and were miserable because I fail to care about anything going on in them. Yeah, you could be seeing some great in-ring action, and there's no doubt about that. But when it comes to the storytelling and my investment in these matches, it was nowhere to be found, and these matches suffered because of that. That did not stop this show from giving us a great main event in the form of a six-pack challenge. I mean, when you got guys like John Cena, AJ Styles, Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn in there, what else can you expect? There was a lot of stuff to go over in that match, and we will go over that in vivid detail right here on your Fastlane review and results. We got an official challenger for Charlotte going into WrestleMania, and WWE played their cards right. Asuka came out on this pay-per-view and challenged Charlotte. There was no Undertaker appearance after this show, after the six-pack challenge. He did not come out and tombstone John Cena or lay out a challenge to John Cena, and that didn't need to happen. I'm sure that will happen whether it's tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, whether it's this Tuesday night on SmackDown Live. Hopefully it is this Tuesday night on SmackDown Live. Monday Night Raw does not need it. That should be a SmackDown Live feud. Or whether it's even the next week or the next 2 weeks of television. I believe that will be coming to fruition. They highlighted the fact that since John Cena clearly did not come out victorious here tonight, they showed him and he shoved the camera away. I love that attention to detail right there. When WWE cares about a storyline, you can tell that they care about that storyline, and they're putting effort into what they're doing with John Cena and him not having a WrestleMania opponent. AJ Styles did come out of this pay-per-view here tonight still WWE champion, and that just puts a smile on my face because of the simple fact that we're here. We are going to get the dream match in Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. There were times throughout this year, as recently as today, that I thought that there was still a possibility that this match was not going to happen, but we are here. WWE, thank God, is giving this to us, and if they build to this right and they give us that storytelling that I know they can give us if they want to give it to us, the story that can be told between Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles in the ring and outside of the ring, if WWE plays their cards right, could be absolutely fantastic. This is a dream match through and through. It's up to WWE to execute on that, and I'm hoping that they do. AJ Styles retained his WWE Championship here tonight in a great six-pack challenge matchup. There were complaints that I had about that six-pack challenge matchup. Don't get me wrong, but we will get to that. As far as in-ring action goes, that matchup was great. A lot of storylines were fleshed out. One of the storylines that was fleshed out was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Shane McMahon, who was for some reason ringside for the six-pack challenge. And apparently, Daniel Bryan was nowhere to be seen here tonight on the Fastlane pay-per-view. It's yet to be seen if Daniel Bryan will get involved in this. But Shane McMahon here tonight screwed both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in this matchup from winning the WWE Championship. There were points in this matchup where Kevin Owens had the 1, 2, 3, and where Sami Zayn had the 1, 2, 3. And Shane McMahon screwed them of that. So we're going to be discussing what that might possibly mean. Is WWE going for the tag team matchup with Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? There was a point in this matchup where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were once again bitter rivals at each other's throats, beating the crap out of each other. Then Shane McMahon came in and interjected himself, and it seemed to be that once again their hatred was towards Shane McMahon. So what is going on here? That's my question. I still don't know, because Daniel Bryan is that missing link. But things certainly went down here tonight as far as that goes. With what we've seen here tonight, I think, at least hope, that we're not going to be seeing Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, as has been rumored. That sounds absolutely terrible. But before we do get into talking about this entire pay-per-view, Rusev versus Shinsuke Nakamura also went at it. The Usos versus the New Day. How I'm disappointed in what they did there with the Bludgeon Brothers attack. I predicted a Bludgeon Brothers attack, but post-match, when the match was over, when the New Day was defeated, WWE decided to do that a little bit differently, and instead of giving us a classic between the New Day and the Usos once more, they didn't quite let it get there. We're going to talk about that as well. We're going to talk about Ruby Riott versus Charlotte and everything else that happened on this show. I'm not going to talk about, do not expect me to talk about that tag team matchup between Naomi and Becky Lynch versus Carmella and Natalya. I'm not talking about that. I will not mention it besides what you hear here. All I know is that Carmella and Natalya won. I was not paying attention to that matchup, and I'm not going to pretend that I was. You want to go back and watch it? By all means, go back and watch it. I give no craps about that. It had no impact on anything that is happening on Smackdown Live or anything that happened on the show here tonight. Only impact it had is that it was a bathroom break, and nobody gave a crap about it. So that's all I got to say about that. But besides that, before we do get into talking about all these matchups in detail, of course, like always, I want to tell you guys to make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. And of course, I say that because there is so much other content for you to go check out. That's Raw reviews, that's SmackDown reviews, Raw and SmackDown reviews, of which for this week are up. That would include your go-home show to this very pay-per-view, Fastlane, and your Monday Night Raw review, talking about everything that happened on Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Once again, Paul Heyman now being the person that WWE is throwing in front of Roman Reigns in order to get him over. It's not going to work. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to work. So we're talking about that on Monday Night Raw. Fastlane preview and predictions went up later than were originally intended, because of course, if you guys haven't noticed, if you watch one of my videos before, as of like this Tuesday, you can tell that I was using a different mic. I watched the video back. This mic sounds quite different than the last one. I think it actually sounds better than the last one. Definitely sounds better than the last one. So we didn't have a mic from like Tuesday to I don't know, like Saturday, Sunday, when I got this mic. So, I mean, we weren't able to do videos. We barely pushed behind the mic out. We had to use the laptop audio for that. But behind the mic actually turned up pretty well. Was working on that. until 3 a.m. was Behind the Mic, and it actually turned out pretty well. Make sure to go check out Behind the Mic. We're talking about WWE burying Brock Lesnar in attempts to get Roman Reigns over going into WrestleMania, and Braun Strowman possibly not having plans going into WrestleMania. Is WWE going to have Braun Strowman just go around and destroy shit during WrestleMania? Is he not even going to have a match? We're talking about all that on Behind the Mic episode number 57. I highly urge you guys to go watch that. And, of course, make sure to go check out the Fastlane preview and predictions, because we're not just talking preview and predictions on there. We're talking what my dream Fastlane card would have been. That would have meant replacing Rusev versus Shinsuke Nakamura with John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Think about that. If that interests you, go check out what I would have originally done with the Fastlane card to make this a better card going into this pay-per-view. I certainly believe that my card was a lot better than whatever WWE had planned here tonight. And it would have turned out as a lot better of a pay-per-view if WWE would have went with what I originally intended. But that's just my opinion. Make sure to go check out the Fastlane preview and predictions. Tell me if you agree with my opinion on what this pay-per-view should have been, and clearly what it is not now. It was okay. It was a decent night here tonight. It was a thumbs-up night, yes, but nothing too revolutionary, and it was not a decent night because SmackDown Live put on a good show in terms of storytelling. It's because the caliber of in-ring talent that you have on SmackDown Live cannot be ignored. You have AJ Styles, John Cena, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler in the same ring. You mean to tell me they're going to put on a bad match? Hell no. Hell no, they're not. So that's why this show turned out pretty alright, as well as the fact that WrestleMania, this show cleared things up. We know what's going on. It clarified a lot of things for us. So that's what helped this show be a decent one. Not good by any means. I wouldn't go that far. I'd say it's a thumbs up show, but overall, nothing that you will be remembering for future reference. You're not going to be like, oh, you got to go back and watch that matchup on that Fastlane show. You're not going to be saying any of that. You're not going to be remembering much of what you've seen on this show in, like, I'd say even a month. It's just a show that is here because WWE decided to put it here. And realistically, what are you going to do about that? If you ask me, you go back and watch my preview and predictions, and you would have found out that I don't even think this show should have been on the calendar, on the pay-per-view calendar, this soon before WrestleMania. Realistically, why didn't SmackDown Live give you the matches that you've seen on this show here tonight spread out throughout SmackDown Lives? Maybe even make a pay-per-view-esque SmackDown Live. Have a WWE Championship match on SmackDown Live before WrestleMania. Put it all on the same show, a pay-per-view at SmackDown Live. Like I said, have the six-pack challenge on SmackDown. Have that United States Championship matchup between Orton and Rude that we saw here tonight. In addition of SmackDown, make it a big addition, hype it up. Same thing with the SmackDown Championship matchup, Women's Championship matchup that we saw here tonight. Why not do something like that? It wasn't done. And instead of making it so the things can smoothly transition, I guess you can say, into WrestleMania, they had this big roadblock separating everything. You need to make feuds specifically for this pay-per-view before you can get into what you have planned going into WrestleMania. How many weeks do they have now before WrestleMania to build everything going on SmackDown Live? 4? Are there 4 weeks till WrestleMania? Not even. It's April 8th, right? What is today? March 11th. They barely have 4 weeks to build towards WrestleMania. Less than a month. So that's the position WWE put themselves in by having this pay-per-view on this night. I wouldn't have done it, but they decided to go this way. And what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? But we're going to go straight into talking Fastlane. And since it is freshest on my mind, we're going to go straight into talking about the six-pack challenge matchup, which started off the show here tonight. And we start off here with the six-pack challenge for the WWE title. It's Kevin Owens versus John Cena versus Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler versus AJ Styles with Shane McMahon sitting ringside. Now, I found it odd that it was only Shane McMahon. They didn't decide to interject Daniel Bryan as general manager to be on ringside, if I can speak here, with Shane McMahon. So it was just Shane McMahon there. We only saw what Shane McMahon did here tonight. We haven't seen how Daniel Bryan has reacted to Shane McMahon's actions. So there's that. John Cena was out here first and pretty much started off the match with a bang. Every member of this matchup besides AJ Styles went straight into an AA. So that left just John Cena and AJ Styles in the middle of the ring. They tangoed for a little bit before everybody regrouped, and pretty much they took out John Cena. They all ganged up on John Cena, 5-on-1 attack, and that pretty much started off the matchup. And it was a matchup of a lot of big spots, a lot of big highlights, and to say the least, things broke down, bro. Things broke down. There were a lot of cool spots in this matchup. I mean, with the caliber of guys in this match, you can't expect anything else in this matchup. There was a point where Ziggler hit a zigzag on Baron Corbin. Cena ran in and planted Ziggler. Then Cena called for a 5-knuckle shuffle on Sami and Ziggler. Cena hit it. Cena went for an AA on Ziggler, but it was turned into a famouser. That was a cool-ass spot right there. Got a close 2 count as well. Ziggler cranked up the band as Cena got up, was looking for, of course, the super kick. Cena ducked, and he applied the STF on Ziggler. Just things like that of all these guys getting in their big spots, getting in their big moves. It was exciting. It was exciting, to say the least. Some of the big spots in this matchup. For one, you had Baron Corbin. He got his moment in the sun in this matchup where you had him clearing everybody. Kevin Owens sold like hell for Baron Corbin, bro. Took a clothesline, flipped himself inside out. Kevin Owens, for a big-ass guy, doesn't need to be stated. He's athletic as all hell, bro. Anyways, WWE made Baron Corbin look dominant for a minute and a half, and this is one of my complaints with this matchup. They went right back to making him look like a dummy. Right back to making him look like a dummy. Because what did they do? They had Baron Corbin take out everybody in this matchup. Then he gets his hands on Ziggler. Ziggler takes the matchup to the outside, right? So Baron Corbin, instead of trying to get Ziggler back in the ring, instead of trying to do something effective in the ringside area, Baron Corbin takes Ziggler into the crowd. Purposely, deliberately takes Ziggler into the crowd. Why would you do that? Now, I understand that they made their way into the matchup a little bit later on in the night, but just the simple fact that Baron Corbin took Ziggler out of the ring, outside of the ringside area, outside of the ring, and deliberately took him to the crowd. The matchup could have ended right there. What were you thinking when you were doing that? It made absolutely no sense to me right there. Anyways, that did lead to a big spot because in the crowd, Ziggler got rammed by Corbin into one of those plastic glass, I guess you can say, protectors, like a barricade in the audience. So Ziggler and Corbin were taken out of the matchup for the time being. That led to John Cena. He was on the table, right? So John Cena was trying to AA, I believe it was Kevin Owens on the table. It then led to being AJ Styles, who was in the arms of John Cena, and he was on top of the announce table, AA'd AJ Styles, standing on an announce table into the other announce table. Beautiful move right there. And that took out AJ Styles pretty much for the remainder of the matchup. So that pretty much leads. Cena gets taken out somehow. Don't ask me how. the next big spot of the matchup is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens effectively clear the ring. They actually on this website, Wrestling Inc., where they have the results, it was Cena who goes for the AA on Owens, but Owens scrambles away. Cena grabs AJ, puts him through the announce table with the AA. Cena rolls Owens into the ring, but he runs into a big boot in the corner. Sami runs in and drops Cena. So Cena rolls to the floor, and for the first time in this matchup, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are alone. So clearly, they have their opportunity to do the big spot that Sami Zayn said he was going to do. He's going to lay down for Kevin Owens, and he's going to let Kevin Owens pin him 1, 2, 3 for the WWE Championship because he's Owens' quote-unquote guardian angel. All right. So Sami Zayn takes forever to lay down. He finally does. Kevin Owens says, all right. He's trying to see if he should even buy into it. And right before, and I called this exact spot on my preview and predictions, I knew this was going to happen. Right before Kevin Owens was going to do it, he tried to attack Sami. That's the only thing I did not call. Kevin Owens did not buy into Sami. He thought Sami was trying to trick him. So he tried to attack Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn got the roll-up like I predicted. Kevin Owens managed to kick out. It was not broken up by AJ Styles, but Kevin Owens managed to kick out, and that led to a big brawl between Sami and Kevin, and pretty much this big brawl leads to Owens going for a powerbomb on Sami on the floor. He jumps up to the apron. Owens goes for a powerbomb on the apron, but Sami dodges it, and they both end up on the floor. Sami crawls over towards Shane, starts talking trash to him. Shane stands up and faces off with Sami. Owens goes for a super kick on Sami Zayn, but Sami moves, and Owens takes out Shane with the super kick. So Sami jumps through the ropes, hits the big corner DDT on the floor that he's known for, takes Owens down. Fans chant, "This is awesome." Fans do. Sami brings Owens back into the ring, waits for him to get up. Sami goes for the Helluva kick, but Owens super kicks him. Ziggler runs in on Owens, but it's countered with the pop-up powerbomb on Ziggler for a super close 2 count. I was like, are they really going to give the WWE Championship to Kevin Owens? But what happens? It's Shane McMahon who pulls the referee out of the ring. He pulls the referee out of the ring. The referee's like, Shane, what are you doing, buddy? Kevin Owens is like, Shane, what are you doing, buddy? That leads to Sami Zayn coming in out of nowhere and hitting Kevin Owens with the Helluva kick in the corner. So it's Sami Zayn now who has the pin on Kevin Owens, but Shane McMahon pulls Sami Zayn out of the ring. So Sami Zayn is like, what are you doing, buddy? Shane, what are you doing, buddy? That leads to a super close count, and I thought, oh my God, they're really going to give the win, they're really going to give the WWE Championship to Dolph Ziggler out of nowhere, because one of the dark horse predictions going in to this WWE Championship 6-pack challenge is that, well, WWE's paying Dolph Ziggler $1.5 million. He failed to win the Royal Rumble and go to WrestleMania, right? The United States Championship, he relinquished it. They've done nothing with the storyline. So maybe WWE's plan is to give Dolph Ziggler the WWE Championship, I guess out of pity or whatever. And he will go into WrestleMania, and it'll be a triple threat between AJ, Nakamura, and Ziggler. That was one of the dark horse predictions. And when I saw Ziggler just get his arm draped over Kevin Owens, I'm like, oh my God, they actually did it. But Sami Zayn realized it, rushed right back into the ring, and broke up the fall, thank God. So from there, Sami Zayn, I don't know why he acted like, I think that was the last time we saw Sami Zayn in this matchup, actually. He was actively arguing, talk about consistency right there. He was actively arguing with Shane McMahon. He was on his feet, right, when he got pulled out of the ring. But as soon as he broke up that fall for Dolph Ziggler, right, as soon as he broke it up, Sami Zayn was lying down for the rest of the match. Where's the consistency right there? Where's that? Sami Zayn didn't take a big move. Everybody else did take a big move, because it was Baron Corbin who came in, took out Cena with the steel steps. Excuse me, Sami did take a big fall. Sami Zayn got hit with the steel steps that Baron Corbin brought in. He then hit Ziggler with it, and then Kevin Owens. Cena stumbles to his feet in the ring, and Corbin goes for the steel step shot, but Cena, with the Super Cena strength, blocks it. Cena grabs the steps and rocks Corbin with them twice, knocking him down. Cena grabs Corbin for the AA on the steel steps. He hits it. That was another super near fall right there, but it was Dolph Ziggler this time who broke it up. Cena launches the steps out of the ring at Corbin. He was actually aiming for Ziggler. He was trying to hit Ziggler with the steps. I don't think it hit Corbin. I don't think the camera focused on that. But Ziggler, he super kicked Cena. But Cena no-sold the super kick. I despise that. He no-sold the super kick, hit the AA, or tried for the AA, I believe. No, he hits the AA on Ziggler. A lot of things happened in this matchup. Excuse me if I'm stumbling over the results. Hits the AA on Ziggler. Owens hits Cena with a pop-up powerbomb, and he is about to pin Cena, but AJ Styles springboards in out of nowhere and hits the phenomenal forearm on Kevin Owens for the win. So, there you go with that. I don't like the fact that AJ Styles did not pin John Cena, because realistically, John Cena got a pin on AJ Styles on Smackdown Live to get to this matchup. You're not going to have AJ Styles get his win back. You're just going to pin your WWE champion. He's not going to get any retribution over John Cena. I don't like that. On top of that, if you want to find a way to further this storyline with John Cena not being able to find his way to WrestleMania, what better way to cement that and further that than having John Cena take the fall in the matchup? It wasn't even anybody else's fault that he didn't win. He took the fall. But no, WWE did not decide to go with that result. It was a good matchup. It was a great matchup. I enjoyed a lot of the things that happened. But at the end of the day, it was a big spot fest. It was a six-pack challenge. What do you expect? There was just a lot of great talent in it that made it a great matchup. I mean, seeing John Cena go for the AA, Ziggler turn it into a famouser, and then Owens, who is perched atop the top rope, hit a frog splash onto Ziggler for a near fall immediately after that. I don't necessarily call that a bad wrestling match, and it certainly was not. And having AJ Styles win and retain the WWE Championship, not a bad result whatsoever, and certainly not a bad result, because it cements the fact that AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura will go toe-to-toe on the grandest stage of them all for the grandest prize in this industry, hopefully in the main event of WrestleMania. And we're going to see a dream matchup, and that's going to be fulfilled at WrestleMania. So that is confirmed after the matchup. The camera was highlighted on John Cena, and John Cena shoved the camera away. I always love when WWE has their superstars like push away the camera or attack a cameraman, because realistically, WWE doesn't go that venture very often anymore. I mean, like Braun Strowman a couple weeks ago, he was going rampant over Monday Night Raw. He was fired. He was killing everybody in his path. He would attack everybody and take out everybody in catering, except that one guy who was offering him cake, right? But, I mean, he doesn't take out the cameraman? Ridiculous. But John Cena, he had that camera straight in his face, pretty much highlighting the fact that he's not going to WrestleMania, and he's supposed to be selling that he's frustrated. Well, having a camera in your face while you're frustrated, not exactly the most ideal thing, and WWE gave you that attention to detail. And when the cameraman got in John Cena's face, trying to capture that moment, John Cena shoved it away, showing true frustration. I love that attention to detail. WWE, if I can speak here, they don't do that very often. clearly, when they care about a storyline, they're clearly going to care about a storyline involving John Cena. They're going to make it so everything comes out picture perfect, and that's exactly what they did. So John Cena's frustration was captured. Shane McMahon was seen. He stops to look at Sami and Kevin Owens, who are both lying down, actually parallel to each other. Sami Zayn is sitting by the barricade, and Kevin Owens is sitting by the ring apron, and Shane McMahon stops in front of them and pretty much just shakes his head, says, yeah, F you. So that was that, and we're clearly going to see the continuations of all those storylines, hopefully the beginning of Nakamura versus AJ. AJ, in a backstage segment prior to this, actually finally showed frustration to Shinsuke, and Shinsuke came in while AJ was cutting a promo saying how he's going to overcome the odds and win here tonight in the six-pack challenge, as we came to see that he did. But it was Shinsuke Nakamura who came in and pretty much was saying, I hope you win, AJ, because at WrestleMania, I'm going to give you that knee. And then AJ said, you know what? Stop. Shut up, bro. Stop saying that you're going to beat me at WrestleMania because I'm going to overcome the odds. I'm going to win the six-pack challenge. And you know what? At WrestleMania, I'm going to beat you. Love it. Love that aggression and love that heat that they're finally starting to build, and hopefully will play up upon on SmackDown Live with Shinsuke and AJ Styles. But speaking of Shinsuke Nakamura, we go to Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev. This matchup actually started the show, so we went from the end of the show here to the beginning of the show. My order is all over the place here tonight, but Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev put on a very, very good show here tonight. A jolly good show did Rusev and Nakamura put on here tonight. Of course, Aiden English came out, did the introduction to Rusev here tonight. What a huge ovation for Aiden English here tonight. And the Rusev Day gimmick clearly was definitely over. Where were we here tonight? Where the hell were we? I don't even know where we were. I do not even know where we were. Let me see if I can find it here on this goddamn website. Can I find it? We were in Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio, as a video starts playing here of the pre-show. But Columbus, Ohio went completely bonkers for Rusev Day. I can definitely tell you that much, bro. Columbus, Ohio was... Rusev Day was over here, and it just makes it so... It makes you think... Why does WWE put Rusev Day in these type of situations, bro? Why? We see that in the WrestleMania Tag Team Championship matchup, they're clearly looking to go for a multi-man matchup between the Usos, the New Day, and the Bludgeon Brothers. I say take that a step further. Why not add, if you're already going to go for the multi-man matchup, why not add Rusev Day to that? I would love to see that. I would absolutely adore seeing that because Rusev is clearly over and he can damn sure put on a good matchup because that's exactly what this was against Shinsuke Nakamura here tonight on Fastlane. Physical as all hell. These two put on quite the showcase here tonight. Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev gave me a hell of a scare. I actually thought Rusev was going to win here tonight. They had me bought at one point in this matchup that Rusev actually won, something that I absolutely did not expect, but Rusev did not win. Shinsuke Nakamura did win here tonight, but it was a point in the matchup where Nakamura was going for his second Kinshasa, and usually Nakamura hits the first Kinshasa. So when he's going for the second Kinshasa, I'm thinking, alright, the matchup is over. He's definitely going to hit it. But no, that was not the case. The second Kinshasa, Nakamura went straight into a super kick. Nakamura sold it like a gunshot, bro. And I'm like, did they actually do it? Is Rusev they actually going to win this? But no, Nakamura, he did kick out. I'm just glad for a moment they actually allowed me to suspend my disbelief. So I enjoyed that, of course, because what's the point of wrestling? To suspend your belief. That's the point of wrestling. To make you for 1 second say, even though this is fake, I want to invest myself in this. I want to believe that that I can get some enjoyment out of this, that I can enjoy the storytelling being told. That's the point of wrestling. That is the point of wrestling, and they managed to do that at least for 1 or 2 or 3 seconds here tonight before Nakamura did kick out of that super near fall. The match did end, however, when Rusev was going for the the camel clutch, the Bulgarian brute hold. What is this called? The whatchamacallit, the accolade. There you go. There you go. Haven't heard that in a while. The accolade. Yes, that's what it's called. I should know that. Anyways, Rusev was going for the accolade. Nakamura blocked it, slipped out, and he hit Rusev with a Kinshasa to the back of the head, stiff as hell. And then I believe he did go to the rope and hit Rusev with another straight Kinshasa. And it was the 1, 2, 3. Nakamura stands tall, points at the WrestleMania sign, and he wins the matchup. Really over nothing this matchup was. That's what really prevented this matchup from going over the top. If there would have been some type of stipulation here, or it actually would have been believable that maybe Rusev could beat Nakamura, then, I mean, it would have been a better matchup. It would have been a better matchup if it was Rusev versus John Cena, John Cena versus Shinsuke Nakamura, like I originally suggested. WWE did not decide to go with that. So, I mean, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? This was still a good matchup, and it gave Nakamura some well-needed momentum with the aggression that he showed in this matchup. And we really haven't been seeing Nakamura on Smackdown Live as of late going into WrestleMania. I mean, he's the challenger for the WWE Championship going into WrestleMania. He should be looking dominant. He should be racking up wins. He should be gaining momentum. He won your Royal Rumble, for God's sake. And that's exactly what this was. It got Nakamura back into the spotlight, and in a very, very good way. Very good match here tonight between Rusev and Nakamura. Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode. This matchup went one of two ways. It could have gone one of two ways. And I mentioned this on my preview and predictions as well. It could have gone one of two ways. It's either going to be a boring, stale matchup with these holds, and it's going to get interesting, I guess, in the last 2 minutes. And it's going to end, and you're going to be like, all right, whatever. And that's exactly what it was. That is exactly what it was. It was either going to be a classic matchup, or it's going to be a matchup that nobody really cares about. And it was a matchup that nobody really cared about. What were they chanting at one point in this matchup? They were chanting some weird crap at one point in this matchup. Let me see if I can find it. I'll continue talking about this matchup. But pretty much what happened here was that, first of all, WWE gave us something that absolutely did not need to happen. Randy Orton won the United States Championship. What was the point of that? Alright, Randy Orton's now a Grand Slam champion. Good for him. But did you really need to take off the United States Championship off of Bobby Roode in order to do that? Did you really need to do that? And at one point in this matchup, this is what they were chanting. Byron Saxton. Byron Saxton. If you have to chant Byron Saxton to be entertained during this matchup, then you already know it's not a good matchup. It is not a good matchup at all. And that's exactly what it was. I mean, there were a lot of rest holds. It got interesting in the last 3-4 minutes, but realistically, it wasn't anything to go ride home about. Like I said in my preview and predictions, I keep referencing that, but I said a lot of valid crap on that preview and predictions. Don't mean to brag, but I did. But, I mean, like I said in my preview and predictions, you look at a feud like Rusev why do I keep mentioning Rusev, bro? Happy Rusev Day, everybody. Anyways, you look at a feud like Randy Orton and Bobby Roode, and while Bobby Roode was in NXT, you hoped and dreamed that one day he would get called up and we'd be able to see Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode. But WWE has failed with this feud so much that even a feud like this that we've always dreamed of, it's something that nobody wants to see. It's something that nobody cares about. Why is that the case? This should be a blood feud, especially over the United States Championship. It should be a blood-shedding feud. The Viper versus the Glorious One. Who will come out on top? But no, nobody cares. Nobody cares. That's what this matchup was. Anyways, it was Bobby Roode who was looking for his blockbuster from the second rope, but he went straight into an RKO. It was 1, 2, 3 from there, and we have a new United States champion, Randy Orton. As if anybody cares. Randy Orton as a babyface is an absolutely stale, generic piece of crap, and nobody cares about him. Nobody cares about him, and thus when he won this United States Championship, nobody cared. Everybody popped for the RKO because that's realistically the best part of Randy Orton, the RKO. But besides that, there was nothing to cheer. There was nothing to ride home about here. And especially the fact that Jinder Mahal came out after this matchup to try to attack Randy Orton. I mean, what the hell? He got a kick on Randy Orton. Bobby Roode got back in the ring, hit Jinder Mahal with the Glorious DDT, and immediately he picked up Randy Orton and he hit Randy Orton with the Glorious DDT. What I'm hoping this does is that Roode looked frustrated after the matchup. Have this be the catalyst that turns Bobby Roode heel. Have him say, you know what? I looked back at my United States Championship loss and I realized what has been wrong with Bobby Roode. I realized why I lost that United States Championship. It's because I've been too concerned with respect. I've been too concerned with the priorities of everybody else. I've let a guy like Jinder Mahal create some mockery top 10 list and mock me. That's done starting now. I've realized that I need to look out for one person and one person only, and that is the Glorious One, Bobby Roode. I will reclaim that United States Championship. I will reclaim my throne as the Glorious One on Smackdown Live, and I'll be damned if I let any of you people, if I let Randy Orton, if I let Jinder Mahal, if I let anybody in that Smackdown Live locker room determine my success. From now on, this is Bobby Roode's Smackdown Live. That is what you have to do this Tuesday on Smackdown Live. The character of Bobby Roode is completely dead, and that's why I'm not shedding any tears at the fact that Bobby Roode lost the United States Championship. Because realistically, having the title on Bobby Roode is the same thing as having the title on Randy Orton. It is. They're both stale, generic babyfaces who are going to do the titles no favors. They have no momentum behind them. All Bobby Roode has right now as a babyface is a flashy entrance. All Randy Orton has right now as a babyface is a cool finishing move. That's all. That is all. And you got to move past that. Have Bobby Roode take on that persona that he had in NXT that brought him to the NXT Championship. Have him say, this is my SmackDown Live, just like he said, this is my NXT. That's how you got to do it. And I'm sure a hell of a lot more people will be interested in Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode plays a fantastic goddamn heel, and he'll definitely be a lot more interesting like that. The woman, instead of being the guy who kisses babies, who shakes hands, who helps the old lady cross the street, have him be the one who kicks that old lady right in the crotch. I mean, that's what all you got to do. And as far as WWE, as far as they go with the United States Championship going into WrestleMania, I don't know if they're going to go with the Randy Orton, Jinder Mahal, Bobby Roode triple threat, which is a route they can certainly go. I am utterly shocked that Jinder Mahal last minute was not added to the United States Championship matchup as I predicted. That was one of my predictions that absolutely I'm just like, what? I'm utterly shocked. I mean, I'm not too butthurt about it, but I was utterly shocked that he was not added. it's because they're going to save that triple threat for WrestleMania, or you're going to add others to the matchup as well. You're going to have Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, and Ty Dillinger be added to that matchup, and either make it a six-pack challenge or, as rumored, a ladder match going into WrestleMania 34. And that can be your ladder match that pretty much allows everybody to get on the show. I'm in favor of that a lot more than having Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, and Randy Orton feud over a goddamn freaking top 10 list any longer. So that's what I got to say about that. Turn Bobby Roode heel going into WrestleMania, and if you don't do it before we get to WrestleMania, you can certainly do it after WrestleMania. Pretty much the Smackdown Live after WrestleMania is where I would do that. But we move on here. The next match after this was Becky Lynch and Naomi versus Carmella and Natalya. You'll be damned if you think I'm covering that. And we move on to the New Day versus the Usos. And this match ended in a no contest. And I'm disappointed because these guys were putting on a damn good matchup. They were going by the mantras of stealing each other's finishing moves, pretty much. You had the Usos do the midnight hour on the New Day, and they were doing all of the New Day's gimmick. And you had the New Day hitting super kicks left and right and hitting the frog splash from the top. And they took each other out, both teams did. That was before the Bludgeon Brothers pretty much came in and ruined us from having a classic. They put on a hell of a beatdown on the outside. Holy crap, they beat the hell out of these two teams. But it was underwhelming because if you think about it, what does this lead to? This leads to a triple threat tag team championship matchup at WrestleMania. And I don't think that would be as good as having the Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers in singles competition. It certainly is not. The only upside to this is that if it's going to be a multi-man match, you might as well add Rusev Day to the equation, and they can get into the spotlight going into WrestleMania as well. That's the only upside I see of this. But the Bludgeon Brothers did come out. They grabbed steel steps. They beat the crap out of the Usos in the New Day. They had Jey Uso power slammed onto Jimmy. And they took Eric Rowan, power slammed Luke Harper onto Jimmy and Jey. And then Eric Rowan, with the help of a push down by Luke Harper, did a whole goddamn splash onto both Jimmy and Jey. They took steel steps and they power bombed Xavier Woods onto the steel steps. It was a brutal attack. It was an absolutely brutalizing attack, and I have no doubt it's going to be interesting in the tag team division going into WrestleMania with all these teams who are clearly good at what they do going into the fold. But I much rather see the Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers one-on-one, or should I say two-on-two, instead of seeing two-on-two-on-two or two-on-two-on-two-on-two. So, I mean, that's what we're getting into WrestleMania, and instead of giving us the best match of the night, like the Usos and the New Day were on a good course to do in this matchup, that was pretty much ruined. So that's all that there is to say about that. It's pretty much clear. We're going to go into a triple threat tag team matchup, hopefully a fatal four-way tag team matchup with the addition of Rusev Day, and a classic in the making was not so much here tonight. We move on to Ruby Riott versus Charlotte, and this is an appropriate way. This is going to be the last match we talk about here, because what happened during Ruby Riott versus Charlotte, nobody gave a crap. This feud has been absolutely god-awful. It's been nothing. It's been lackluster, and that's exactly what this match was. It was good. I'm not going to lie to you. It was a good match, and everybody expected it to be a good match. I mean, it's Charlotte and Ruby Riott, but as far as what went on in that ring, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to tell you that I was invested, because I damn sure was not invested in anything that I seen in this matchup. But pretty much what happened here was that the Riott Squad tried to interfere. Becky Lynch and Naomi came out to even the odds. The referee interjected, and he pretty much kicked out Becky Lynch and Naomi, and then he kicked out the Riott Squad. That distracted Ruby Riott, and Ruby Riott pretty much off that distraction took the flurry of Charlotte, and she got in the figure eight, was tapping out right away. But what was interesting was what was going on after the matchup, because the Empress of Tomorrow came out, and I predicted this on my preview predictions. Don't know how many times I'm going to say that. But the Empress of Tomorrow came out, and she did what everybody has to do if they want to go to WrestleMania. She pointed at the sign. And it will be Charlotte versus Asuka, the dream match, the proper match. We are not getting Alexa versus Asuka. We're probably getting Alexa versus Nia, which doesn't sound good by any means either. But we are at least getting the dream match on the Smackdown side, and Charlotte versus Asuka. It's going to be interesting to see how WWE booked this, considering that Charlotte's on SmackDown and Asuka's on Raw. But at least we're getting the dream match. That is all I care about. A proper women's championship matchup, one-on-one for the first time pretty much ever going into WrestleMania. It's going to be exciting. It is damn sure going to be exciting. But for now, that's all I got for you guys concerning WWE Fastlane 2018. Thank you guys for watching this video right here on Ringside Wrestling. If you enjoyed what you hear here, make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling channel. Make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling channel. Make sure to comment what you thought of Fastlane 2018 here tonight. And of course, make sure to like this video. Check out the Twitter account of the same name. And give me all the support in the world. Because for now, this is going to be Joe Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. And for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. I'll see you next time right here on Ringside Wrestling.